Well, Indonesia's Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy, Sandiaga Uno, was invited to deliver a keynote speech at the high-level thematic debate on tourism at the UN General Assembly in New York. Now, during his speech, Minister Sandiaga stressed the importance of shifting towards a sustainable tourism model that also focuses on lifting up local communities and local cultures. As Indonesia assumes the role of G20 presidency this year, Indonesia is indeed becoming more and more regarded as an important voice in tackling a variety of issues, including post-pandemic economic recovery. To voice Indonesia's perspectives on the tourism sector and its important role in global economic recovery, Indonesia's Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy, Sandiaga Uno, was invited to the high-level thematic debate on tourism held at the United Nations General Assembly in New York in collaboration with the World Tourism Organization. Minister Sandiaga admitted that the global tourism sector is on a steady path towards recovery, as global travel and tourism saw 130% growth in January 2022 compared to the same period last year. However, at this UN Assembly, Indonesia's tourism minister reiterated that the global tourism industry must transform into a more sustainable model and become more resistant to any future pandemics.
The pandemic highlighted the urgent need to transform the tourism industry. We need to reduce the vulnerability of the industry to shocks and prepare it for future pandemic. With the global tourism beginning to grow post the pandemic, the time is now to begin the transformations. It is critical we do not fall back to a business as usual approach or to a false sense of security. We should build back the tourism industry better, more sustainable, and more resilient. Developing a sustainable tourism sector must look beyond the issue of environment or environmental well-being. It must also elevate the dignity of local culture, community, and traditional knowledge, as well as creating a balance between mass tourism and quality tourism.
Not only protecting the environment, Minister Sandiaga also reiterated the importance of creating a tourism industry that brings gain to the indigenous population and marginalized communities.
Structuring travel that funds the protections of nature, brain gain, empowering marginalized and indigenous communities, etc. In the end, we need to ensure that greater proportion of sustainable tourism program benefits people, prosperity, and planet will trickle down to local and indigenous communities. Like this eco straw that I'm bringing from the island of Belitung. This is a concrete actions whereby we are replacing plastic-based straw with eco-made straw made from grass.
Meanwhile, Indonesia's tourism minister also showcased Indonesia's tourism village model, which transforms Indonesian villages into tourism sites that helps empower local villages and boosts their economy. Indeed, Minister Sandiaga believes that tourism should be people-centered and focus on raising the welfare of local communities.
The core is humanity. Far too often, we treat tourism as merely business, where capital gain is the top priority. I come from finance and investments, and I learned it by heart that we forgot that it is the collective power by creating jobs. It is jobs, jobs, and jobs for the local communities, which will help tourism to be future-proof. Our program of Tourism Village integrates local accommodations, attractions, and complementariness under village governance with local wisdom. This program has proven to elevate the livelihood of villages, communities, as it is shown in Penglipuran Tourism Village in Bali, where it generated more than $1.45 million of revenues in 2020 in the midst of pandemic.
Indonesia is also set to lead the first G20 Tourism Working Group meeting on the 10th to 11th of May 2022. Among the many priority issues that will be discussed include post-pandemic recovery in the global tourism sector and stressing the important role of human resources empowering local communities and micro, small to medium-sized businesses as part of this recovery.